Hello, how you guys doing?
Good, how are
Hi.
you?
So I'm going to start by introducing myself. I'm Sheila. I am the Hispanic outreach coordinator for Take Starting Children and an alumna as well. But how about we start by going around uh, the metaphorical table and tell me your names and your titles. How about we start with you?
Sure. My name is Rachel Denton. I am the Marketing and Public Relations Associate at Gulf Coast Community Foundation.
I am Priscilla Ballard. I am the Philanthropic Services Associate at Gulf Coast.
Hi there, I am Kelly Carlstein, and I am the Vice President of Brand Strategy at Gulf Coast.
My name is Alyssa Barnsley, and I am the Brand Strategy and Creative Associate at Gulf Coast.
Hi, I'm Kelly Borgia, and I'm the Director of Brand Engagement.
So we're gonna do this again. Go back to the beginning. Why don't you tell me what college you went to, if you went to college, and what you majored in?
Sure. So we're going to go back in reverse since I have the mic. I went to the University of Central Florida, and I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in theater with a specification in stage management. So I had a whole different career before I came to Gulf Coast.
I went to the University of North Florida in Jacksonville, and my bachelor's degree is in English, specifically the literature side of it.
I also went to the University of Central Florida, go Knights, and I got a bachelor's in event management at the Rosen College of Hospitality Management.
I went to Cornerstone University in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and got a bachelor's in strategic communication.
And I went to Florida State University. I got a bachelor's in humanities with an emphasis in communications.
Great. So I do hear some majors that don't necessarily correspond with what you do. Was this a path that you guys wanted to go on, or do you go? Is it a different path? How do you get on this path?
I think for me, I'll make a long story short, but it developed over time. When I went to Tallahassee, I became involved in the state legislature and the government as an intern. And after I graduated college in 3 years, I then became the district aide to that state representative that I was working for, who represented Sarasota County. So that got me involved in government and brought me back to my hometown of Sarasota after college. And I worked in the government state legislative arena for about 10 years. And then I realized I loved public relations and marketing and the creative side of things, which I had been doing already. And so I started about 10 years ago in my career in marketing and public relations, and media relations.
What about the rest?
So I have always wanted to be involved in nonprofits. I volunteered with a lot of nonprofits and had some internships when I was in college. So the strategic communications major really kind of enveloped a lot of the things that I was looking to do, learning about relationships and business aspects, kind of human resources a little bit, but a lot of it was just focused on getting to know people and how to interact with them, what kind of messaging you want to have with people, especially in fundraising. So that's kind of how I found my way to this.
So event management is certainly a component of brand strategy, and I'm a huge advocate for experiential learning. And so what event management gave me was project management experience, which is applicable to any industry and any role. At Rosen, our classes looked like wedding planning, fairs and festivals, restaurant management. And I think I took a little bit of everything from that degree. And got to apply it to a career that kind of has evolved into overarching brand, which has events, has marketing, has communications, has a little bit of everything.
So I actually went down a couple different paths before I landed in the marketing and communications world. I started in the VPK world as a teacher. And when I went to college for English, specifically literature, I really wanted to work for a publishing company editing children's books since I had that background. And my final year of college, I did a developmental internship position with a local nonprofit. Fell in love with nonprofit work and making a difference. And in that role, got to do a few communications things. And then my first job out of college did more and more communications things. And here I am today, now brand strategy, and very happy that this was the long path that got me here, but happy.
So I had an entire career in the theater. I say I retired in 2018. And so I knew from high school that I wanted to pursue theater. It was really baked into my DNA and part of who I was. So I immediately went into college, declared my degree my freshman year, like day one, and went and did internships. I lived in New York. Traveled around doing theater and freelancing in my 20s, and then got a job at the Oslo Repertory Theater. I thought I was going to come to Sarasota for 6 months, do this contract, and then go back to my life in New York with a dog and a car and enough money to get my own apartment and not have any roommates. And then they offered me really and truly my dream job, to be the production stage manager there. And so I served for 10 years as the production stage manager, doing all of the big musicals and shows. I did all of the scheduling for the entire season. It was a really big job and was very fulfilling. But I got burnt out, and that's a hard thing to really recognize. It took me a long time to really come to the realization that, like, just because I'm good at this doesn't mean I have to do it. It wasn't serving me in the way that it had earlier in my life. And so I quit. I took a left turn. I leapt without knowing really exactly what was going to happen. And I just started looking for what my next career was going to be, really. And I saw a job listing for Gulf Coast Community Foundation for a philanthropic administrator. So I started in the same role that Priscilla has. And I was like, oh my God, they need a stage manager for their office. I can do everything. Everything that this says is exactly what I can do. And so I worked some connections. I used my network, which was really, really helpful to me. And I got an interview, and I was able to go in with a resume that has a really impressive list of directors and productions that means nothing to anyone outside of the theater industry. But I used my work. I showed what I could do in the theater. And Gulf Coast really kind of took a chance. And it's been so rewarding. I've been with Gulf Coast now 6 years. I've had 3 different positions in my time there. And I've just started in this new role of director of brand engagement. And I really love it. It's taking all of those skills, exactly kind of what Kelly said, of applying all of those things that I learned in the theater industry in this new capacity. And it's super fun. And I get to work with all these wonderful people.
What are those skills that perhaps necessarily you didn't think would apply to another career that have been transferable?
I would say the thing that serves me most in my career is being very solutions oriented. I like to say I come from a place of yes, that there isn't, and then when you have to say no, people really hear you. Like, so if you're a person that says, I don't know how, but I'll figure it out. And that's what theater teaches you. Like the show must go on, and it will with you or without you in some circumstances. So you got to kind of get on board. And I apply that to really everything I do.
I'd say being very detail oriented. Obviously, I was going to go into a written word, and now I'm in more of a visual side. But being super detail oriented applies to both. One with words and one now with graphics and other imagery. So that's what I think transcends both industries.
I'd say understanding creativity and how that applies to each unique individual. So I think that everybody's an artist. So kind of coming from a place of everybody's an artist. Kelly is an artist in stage management. Alyssa is an artist in graphic and visual design. Rachel is an artist in written word. Priscilla is an artist in relationship. So really coming from a place of optimism and understanding everybody's talents around you and how to kind of tap into those and work together better is a really important skill.
Yeah, I would say a couple things. One is kind of the solutions oriented that Kelly was talking about is problem solving skills. Those are transferable across all different kinds of jobs or careers that you might have. I've definitely felt that it's been really helpful in this career, whether it be, a donor calling needing help with something that we don't necessarily know how to help with right now, but let's figure out a way to make this work for them and see if there's a charity that we can help them give towards. So that's been a really cool transferable skill. And then some others that I would say is just learning to look to other people and learn how to empower them as well. I think teamwork is a big transferable skill when you're going between different careers, learning where you fit on the team and what everybody's skill sets are, and to be able to support and empower each other and really collaborate with one another.
I want to keep doing snaps. We're all being very polite.
We have fun. We do. For me, I think it would be definitely detail oriented, which matters when you're writing press releases and keeping media lists and doing social media posts and all of that. But what I really love is the writing aspect. Through this job, I've been able to find my love for writing, and they've enabled me and allowed me to thrive at what I to focus on what I thrive on, which is really, really special in a workplace. And for me, it's getting to craft in-depth questions before I go and interview nonprofits or before I go interview donors and hear about their stories. It's when people tear up and cry to me and tell me about their passions and why they do what they do. It's getting up every day knowing I work for Gulf Coast Community Foundation, and the work that we do in this community is incredible. So I know that we're doing good things every day. That mission that we have together with our donors, we transform our region through bold and proactive philanthropy. And that is just what I was looking for. I had always admired the Gulf Coast brand. I thought it was so polished, and I thought one day maybe I'll work there. And I saw an opening last minute, and I emailed Kelly Carlstein directly, and she gave me that chance. But I will tell you, in terms of another quality that I would consider is being immersed in the community. I grew up here. I was a Sarasota native, and I came back after college. But in the 20 plus years that I've been working as a professional in the community, I've really immersed myself. So I've gone to community events. I've shook people's hands that I wanted to meet. I've really, really worked networking, as well as just learning from inspirational people and making connections, over the region. And that's really, really helped me throughout my career. And I think it's also important because I love my community and I want to be a part of it. So I would say those things. And just knowing, my last job was for the Sarasota County Supervisor of Elections. And I worked with national press from all over the globe during the 2020 presidential election. That is details. That is skill. That is, you're getting calls that need answering from HBO and the London Times, and you need to tell SNN deadlines and dates and ABC7 and all the rest. So really keeping lists and details, and really serving the media like they serve us, and being a partner with our media partners, treating them like human beings and giving them the information they need to spread our message is something that I truly enjoy.
So with those transferable qualities in mind, what does a day in the job look like for each of you in your positions?
It's different every day.
know that any one of us could go through exactly what our days look like. I'm sorry.
I just think that our jobs are all, and I think that's one of the things that I'll sort of speak for everybody, that our jobs are not the same every day. You know, we serve at the behest of the community and our donors and our nonprofits. So on any given day, you have the best laid plans, and the phone rings and the emails come in, and you know, sort of things all shift. I know we all had plans yesterday, and then we're opening a rapid response fund to support restaurant and hospitality workers who are out of work because of the hurricane. So everything just shifted, you know. So all the communications that we had planned for the week, you know, we sort of collaborated, readjusted, and moved on. And I can speak, you know, Priscilla on the philanthropy team, you know, you just sort of never know how the days are really going to go. And I'll let you share that one since I gave an example about brand.
Yeah, well, I think to Kelly's point with what she was saying, even as the example of yesterday, a part of that is, you know, everybody in each department has their part to play in all of that, right? So we had to open up a disaster fund, a rapid response fund yesterday. So brand team was working on the communications to our donors, the press releases, all the information to go out to our board. Philanthropy team was working on getting the information up on for our donors on the donor portal, making sure that everything made sense for the donors, being able to describe it to our donors, what it was for, what we were using the fund for, some of the organizations that we're looking at giving the money to. So and then, you know, I have our finance team, we have, you know, our leadership team, so everybody has their role that they play in that. For I mean, just like she said, it's every day is a little bit different, but it's kind of fun to get into those roles and to kind of see how everything kind of works together, all the puzzle pieces come together, and being able to do that is fun.
And I would share too, just for anyone on a detailed level, I would share that every day when I go to work, the first thing I do is check my emails, check my calendar. I have my plan laid out for the day. But something that's really been instrumental for me is taking 10 minutes, 15 minutes to take a walk outside during the day to experience nature and immerse myself in nature, or to just take a breather and to know that, because it refreshes my mind, it reinvigorates my creativity, and it brings me back to my computer so much. So I used to just work through lunches and, you know, hang at a 10 through like 9 hours. And now I'm like, I don't have to work that way anymore. And I'm even more effective. So I think you develop daily routines that help you prioritize items that you need to work on. You put reoccurrences in your calendars as reminders. You use planning tools and all sorts of things that work for you as you establish your career as a professional. But those are tips that helped me, was really keeping my schedule in alignment, knowing my priorities, my tasks, keeping a marketing content calendar so we know what's going on, and leaving room for the things that we just talked about that are urgent, that need to be communicated, like a rapid response fund, and also leaving a little time for you just to breathe and to, you know, refresh yourself. And Gulf Coast Community Foundation allows for all of that, which is really tremendous and very impactful for its employees.
You can tell that you guys care about your jobs, that you enjoy it, which is very encouraging.
We care about our jobs and we care about each other. Collaboration is one of our values, and I think that we intrinsically represent that very well. We're connected.
For
It's
sure.
really
And
nice.
and like you guys said, you were given a chance. You have your network. Obviously, you're qualified, but also there's this like reaching out and this connection.
Being a
So
teammate.
exactly. In that vein, do you guys is there any opportunities available for our students, any internships that you would recommend?
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We have started to kind of explore what internships could look like at Gulf Coast. You know, through the summer, kind of the nature of our organization with every day, every week, every month being so different. We haven't quite found the groove at Gulf Coast about how to build that internship program. But we do partner with our chambers, our business alliances, who also have some really great internship programs, the theaters, the arts organizations. So it looks like Rachel has some intelligence there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I started as an intern. I think Alyssa did too, and can't speak for others, but I know how important as an internship is. So we have Hillary, for example, who runs our Venice headquarters and our operations there, and she reached out to me. I and a couple others on LinkedIn, and I thought about it, and I reached back out to her. She just wanted to come and know more about us. It was a college project, and then she became an intern underneath me and Jennifer Johnston, and I really took her under my wing, and she said, I'm interested in working here. And so we put that forward. And now she's, been here for over 2 years and she's thriving. So I just like to say that, yes, there may be an opportunity for internships for sure and finding the right fit or shadowing. But just knowing that internships in general do provide a really good taste into the workforce. It gives you a sense of what you want to do. I would highly recommend them in high school and college, or at least college. So you can, really study in the field that you're majoring in and learn what you're going to do in your daily work and in the real world. So you can have a taste of it, a flavor of it, and see if you enjoy it.
Even the field you're not majoring in. I mean, I the internship that I had my senior year of college, I was not looking for that. I wasn't. I'll be completely honest. And it was there, and I had taken a course with a professor who I love, and I had taken 3 of his classes previously, and we had done a lot with communications and uh, artificial intelligence at its beginning stages. And he actually recommended it. He was like, "Oh, there's this local nonprofit, and they're looking for a developmental intern. I don't really know what that means, but why don't you go check them out?" And I went to the interview and just clicked with their staff and with their mission. They did dropout prevention for K through 12 students. And I thought, this is great. I have experience teaching students. How about I, go on the other side? So explore those opportunities, that might not be what your intended career path is or what your major is. I would just say be open to what's around you. It's amazing, and like I said, I'm very happy that this was the path that that internship took me. I honestly can't see it another way now. So be open to it.
And I'll add to that, not even just with internships, but be open and take opportunities as they come. If there's a volunteer opportunity for something that you might be interested in, you never know who you're going to meet at that can be the next stepping stone to what you're interested in doing down the road. Or like Alyssa is saying, it may introduce you to something that you had no idea was something you were interested in. So just take opportunities. I would say don't say no at first. Eventually you'll get to the point where in order to keep yourself from burning out, you're going to have to say no to some things, but be open and take them as they come.
I think too, I can echo on that because I never thought I would have the start of my career in government. I never thought that I would be working in the Florida House of Representatives as an intern. So when I was 18, I had special experiences like Governor Jeb Bush at the time came by and said, "Thank you for your service to Florida." And I looked up and it was the governor and he shook my hand, and that was really incredible. And, as you continue, it was an experience that I wouldn't have explored if I didn't give it a chance and give it, an opportunity. And it made a lot of connections when I came back here as well. But yes, I would say volunteering is, I echo that as well. It's a beautiful way to find what you're passionate about or just what you enjoy doing and to connect with others. So yeah.
So I wanted to talk a little bit more about brand. You kind of share that we're the brand team and joined by philanthropy. It's such an incredible, I would say, industry or team to join for an organization. I like to say that we are the consult to the entire organization. So brand looks like marketing, communications, events, digital website, creative design. It's a little bit of everything, facilities, operations, experiences. So it's a really great entry point to any organization because you get to see everything. We serve every team at the organization. a day could look like working with philanthropy to put on an event for donors. It could look like being out in the community at a ribbon cutting, working with government. It could look like building a website on the fly. It could look like attending a photo shoot. There's just so much that falls under brand. Our staff, the people, that is our brand. Our donors, our community, everything is part of a brand. So it's a really, really great industry. I'm biased, but it's just a great entry point again, and way to learn all about the different teams and different roles that you could have in an organization. So you've heard all of us enter in some kind of a way and find ourselves into communications, PR, and relationships. So highly, highly recommend considering an entry role into marketing, an entry role into communications. And I think that will help you kind of really decide where you want to go next.
Would you say that that entails the image of the
Sure.
organization? Like perhaps you're more of the infantry. You're like
Sure.
the first thing that people see when they walk into this metaphorical like building.
Sure, absolutely, and the literal building as well. So the other members of our team, they run both of our offices. That is a literal, physical representation of our brand, and that's why it's so important to this team. So you walk in, and that first face you see, you walk in, and that first logo you see, that first communication on the coffee table that you see. Those are all entry points to our brand that are super important.
What about philanthropy? Can you
Yeah.
talk a little more about that and what that means?
Yeah, so I can talk about philanthropy. So you may hear it described as other things at other organizations: fundraising, development, advancement. You'll hear it at some universities. But the unique thing about community foundations is that our donors, we're connecting them with other organizations to give to. So they give to a community foundation, and then we help advise them and guide them through what organizations in the area match their interests. What could we connect them to be involved in, to give to, that will really encourage them in their journey of charitable giving and in their generosity that they have. So that's where our philanthropy comes into play. And philanthropy, I believe the actual term is for the love of people, for human kindness. So that's what we try to embody on the philanthropy team at Gulf Coast, is to really connect with our donors, build those relationships so that we can see what their needs are as far as their charitable giving. What are they looking to do? What impact are they looking to make? What legacy are they looking to leave? And we try to help them meet that.
What type of donors does Gulf Coast usually get? Is it mainly individuals from the community or organizations or both?
Yeah, so we have a lot of donor families, is how we kind of approach it. A lot of individuals. We have some donors who have really encouraged their children and grandchildren to become a part of this organization and encourage them to have the spirit of generosity and giving into the community. A lot of our donors are local, at least part of the year they'll live here. Sometimes they'll have seasonal places somewhere else, but they really are looking to give for the most part in this area, in our service area of Sarasota, Charlotte area. And it's really a unique opportunity to get people plugged in to, especially people who move to this area who don't know of the organizations, but maybe we're involved with a lot of organizations from up north where they're coming from. It's our chance to welcome them to the area.
Can I add one thing to that?
Yes, ma'am.
I think one of the things about the Gulf Coast donors that you asked us is, the difference between charitable giving and philanthropy. And, I think everybody is charitable in the ways that we're capable of being charitable, but philanthropists have a lot of means and the ability to give back. And we really think of those as philanthropic investments. So in the same way that they're investing in the stock market, our advisors are encouraging our donors to invest in our community, right? So that we'll see the dividends pay out in years to come from the investments that they're making today. So things like the Bay Park didn't exist 2 years ago. And now there's this beautiful park in downtown Sarasota. Those people made investments that our children and grandchildren will really get to enjoy. And that's the sweet spot of a community foundation, is taking their charitable giving from writing checks at the holidays to making real community investments that make a big impact in the region we serve.
There's also, I would not be remiss if I didn't mention, there's also a public policy community leadership side to Gulf Coast that helps steward donors' needs to specific funds or specific community initiatives that we're taking on. So our 3 priorities are mental health, affordable housing, and water quality and green space. And so we focus on emerging needs within our community and creating systemic long-term solutions to help them. So we're behind a lot of projects. We go to a lot of government meetings, and our team works really hard on the public policy aspect of making sure the dollars go to where the need is greatest through those initiatives.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome.
Oh my gosh, thank you.